Hey guys, welcome back to the Tressa's Collectibles channel. My name is Simu, also known as Chairman, and I will be doing the box opening portion for Lycoris Recoil Premium Booster. Today's going to be a double box opening day because today is a double release day for both Lycoris Recoil and also Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, or Project Sekai as it is called in Japanese. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. There's going to be a lot of product today, so let's just get straight into it. So for Lycoris Recoil Premium Booster, premium boosters are a little bit different from regular boosters. These will be 30 boxes per case. Each box is a little bit smaller, as you can see, a little thinner. Each pack contains fewer cards compared to your normal booster box. 4 cards per pack, 3 normal and 1 hot stamp. They call it hot stamp. It's basically the premium booster foil, so we'll show it off. It's basically like the text box has like a stamp foiling, and you know, the card is also very foil. Very nice looking. So each case of 30 will be expected to come with 3 SPs. This is the expected number. And there is also a chance of the cereal in this set. So the Japanese version came with 6 different cereals. And we don't know the exact numbers, but approximately like 30 cereals per cereal card. And so we expect that English will get something pretty similar to that. Yeah, also, really important thing is the Japanese version of Lycoris Recoil Premium Booster came with SP variants of promos that were released shortly after release that English only got 2 of. So English, we got one of the promos as a monthly promo and the other one as a Bushiroad Championship Series or Bushiroad Springfest. Oh, Springfest. Bushiroad Springfest entry promo. And the other 2 we have not gotten in English at all, but they will be included in this set. So this will be our first time at getting 2 of the Lycoris cards that were available from set 1. So that's really exciting, but unfortunately they will be only an SP rarity. They don't come like the normal rarity, so a little bit of like a little bit of pay to win there, but at least we got them, right? At least we got them. So yeah, so Lycoris Recoil, definitely one of my favorite sets of all time. I have this completely maxed in JP with the exception of the cereals because unfortunately I am not made out of money. But I do have 4 copies of every other card. And I have some of the cereals too. Not all of them. And then, yeah, so I definitely love this set a lot. I actually I never opened this set in JP because I just straight up bought a playset. Because it was more economical to just buy a playset. So I'm really excited to be opening this product for the first time. Very cool. I love opening premium boosters because the foiling on the cards is just so insanely nice looking once you, like, especially like I just think every pack looks really good. Now the thing with the Lycoris Recoil Premium Booster is that it's going to feature arts from popular like fan artists or just like official artists who drew for Lycoris Recoil. It's not going to be moments from the show, although they might reference moments from the show. So because of that, I actually don't really have too much to say about like what's happening on the cards, but yeah, you just get to enjoy some really nice art from like some of your favorite artists online, which is always great. Yeah, but I do have a lot to say about the card effects because this definitely gave Lycoris like a huge buff, I think, in terms of playability, and so we'll see once we get to some of the specific cards. Okay, so here we got this Takina in a suit, very nice, with this amazing looking ponytail. Fabulous. This is like a standby card, so you play a card, climax, you can bounce this back to your hand, so good for standby. We got the Cherry Blossom in full bloom. This is going to be the climax for the new level 1 combo, which is really, really strong. Very big fan of that level 1 combo. We got this Enjoying the Summer Festival Chisato. This is going to bond to Enjoying the Summer Festival Takina, so we can talk about that when it comes out. Generally speaking, you do play the Takina, and you may or may not play the Chisato. It's pretty optional. The second effect is actually like a really weird effect. So you pay 1 and you send this to Waiting Room, and then you can swap a Lycoris Recoil or weapon from your hand with a character in your level. So the unfortunate thing about this card is that it actually does minus you because you have to send her to Waiting Room. So it's kind of weird that this like you have to like minus to do the effect. And the foil for the first one is the Safe Travels Takina. So as you can see, the hot stamp, as they call it in English, the premium booster foiling is the gold on top of like the text box and stats, and also this really nice shiny foiling pattern. This one is just on attack. You can give itself power equal to the number of your other characters, and when it attacks, it also gains 3k if it's attacking at level 2. So it's level 2 killer. Pretty straightforward. It's a level 2 killer that only gets 3k, but then also just is big normally. Kind of interesting design there. Usually it's like the opposite, where it's like the level 2 killer doesn't get power normally, but then gets like a ton against level 2. Ooh, Obligation of Lycoris Recoil. This is a really good card from the set. So it's a on play, pay 1, put a Lycoris Recoil or weapon character from your weight room to the bottom of your clock, and then you can search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. Well, we call this in the community, we call this a Reiki effect, or an Akane effect if you are a JP player. But this is really good. You basically get to add a card to your hand for free without having to lose a card by paying the cost, which is like pretty cheap. Just pay 1, clock yourself, and then the clocking yourself, obviously you can choose what you're clocking, so it helps you fix for color, and it also helps you level up if you need to level up like on demand. She only has 1k power, but as you see in the top right corner, she's got a soul trigger for no reason, so this card is kind of gross. When you trigger her late game, she just helps you do extra damage. Kind of nuts. So I like this card as a 4-up. I think it's really good. Ooh, for an ideal world, Majima. So this combos with the set 1 Majima combo, Cutting Ties, I believe. So that's going to be the level 0 Majima. And it also synergizes with it because it checks with my definition of Justice Majima, which I believe is the set 0, the Majima combo. So yeah, it's this is an interesting card. So on play, you can put that Majima to the bottom of your clock in order to salvage a character. So it's kind of weird that like you have to pay a cost to salvage a character, but I guess that happens, right? And then the way that his combo works is you pay 3 and you discard 3 cards, and then both players heal all their clock, and then you deal 4 damage. So the idea with Majima is that like you can use his on play effect to loop a bunch of Majimas, and then get a bunch of cards back, take a lot of damage, and then you on attack you just heal it all off, and then you deal 4, and then hopefully the other ones are just doing 4 damage, right? Because the idea with the Majima is that like you only want to use the combo on the first one, and because the second two, if you do the heal, then you heal your opponent more, right? Which is kind of weird. So this is a weird combo, definitely very hard to utilize, but pretty flavorful, right? Because that's the whole point of his character. He wants to balance everything. All right, this scene at the aquarium. So this is Chisato doing like the Chin Anago pose, right next to Takina doing like the Sakana pose, and so the first effect does check for encouraging Takina, which is the Sakana pose Takina from first set. That's the climax up. So yeah, once per turn, when you play the encouraging Takina, you can stand this card. So it's like she's rested, right? Chisato's like chilling, and then you play the Sakana, and then she goes like, "Oh, Shinago," right? It's just flavor. Right, but yeah, you can rest her to give one of your characters plus 2k and plus 1 soul. So the idea is that you can tap her to do that, play the Takina, stand her again, and then do it again. It's pretty cool. And then you can also rest her, discard a Lycoris or weapon to draw a card. So pretty cool card, especially if you're running the climax swap at like more than 1 copy. Definitely an interesting card that you can experiment with. All right, and then for the foil, we got the Halloween costume Takina. So this is going to be the I believe Akko has a card that's very similar to this in Bane Dream. Is it Akko or is it Yuki? I think it's Akko. But basically, on attack, if you have experience, then you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 2 or higher, you can put it into your stock. So can potentially get you free stock, which is really good. But of course, like revealing level 2 or higher is not very easy. Alright. Next we got a new climax combo. The Sunny Night, Chisato, and Takina. This climax combo is really interesting. We might be experimenting with this in our gameplay block, but generally speaking, this climax combo is not very popular in JP meta, but it's very strong if it can kind of snowball. So the idea is that she gets -1 level if you have another copy of her in the level zone. And then when you play her on stage, you can choose a copy of her in the level zone and just any character you have on stage, and you can just swap them. So basically, you bring out another copy of her for 0 stock instead of 2 stock, because you still have to play a character to swap. But yeah, basically you save 2 stock with her on play effect, and then the climax combo, it's pay 1, ditch 1 to deal 2 damage, and then she gains 2k power. So if you play her out at level 2, swap another one out for free basically. So you only pay 2 stock, and then you can do double burn 2 combo at level 2 for just 2 stock. And then obviously you still have to discard 2, but you don't need extra stock because you can attack with the 3rd lane first, and then attack with these to burn. So it's a very aggressive card. And then afterwards, obviously, if they don't remove these, then you can just like keep doing it. But it's very aggressive because you're gonna bleed a lot of resources for doing this really early. But it's a very aggressive push at level 2. Alright, got another one of the Halloween costume Takina. We got Bon Appetit Chisato. So this one is going to give support to the is it 8 choice or is it 20 choice? Which one are we gonna call it? All right, the mini choice deck from set 0. So that's gonna be both the yellow choice combos, level 1 Takina and the level 3 Takina Chisato combo, as well as all those supporting cards, which is like I think it's like the 1/0 Twin Drive Chisato, the level 0 Kurumi, the level 0 oh no, what's his name? The freaking the master, the bartender dude. Oh, does he have a name? He has a name. What's his name? I don't remember. And then the level 0 Misaki? Is it Misaki? Glasses girl. I think it's Misaki. I can't remember. They have names. Alright, the only names that matter are Chisato and Takina. So yeah, so if you have a choice climax in play, she also gets choice trigger icon right here. And then you can swap between the 2 climaxes from set 1, the level 1 and level 3 choice, for free when you play her. So instead of like the pay 1 climax swap, it's for a free climax swap. But you need to have 6 or less hand for some reason. But yeah, so the 8 choice deck does get some more support in this set, which is really cool. Oh, we got the foil version of the Scene at the Aquarium. I mean, it just looks really good. Like the foils, the premium booster foils, I'm such a big fan of them. They look so nice. And the fact that you get 1 per pack is just like you get the dopamine hit every single pack. Because normally you're like opening packs and then like let's say you open a normal Weiss box, right? Like every box has like 3 foils, so you get the rush 3 times, and then that's it. And then you don't get to look at like shiny cards anymore. But with the premium booster, you get that rush every single pack, so you get to look at a bunch of shiny cards. I like. Alright, encountering tiny bits of happiness, Chisato. That's me right now opening these packs. Alright, this is a really good card. I didn't like this on release, but after experimenting with it later, I think it's like it's a must-have in like a lot of decks. On play, you can choose one of your opponent's. So basically, if your opponent only has 1 or less character in the center stage, you can send that character to the waiting room if it's a cost 0 or lower. So it's very similar to the. I think it should be the exact same. No, Takina should be bottom deck. But basically very similar to the Takina effect from the Takina Climax Swap effect. And then the second effect is actually what you're really playing this for. It's on play, you can put the top card of your deck into your clock to put the top card of your deck into stock. So you take 1 damage, but you get an extra stock. And this allows you to basically +1 stock for taking 1 damage and then also just playing her. That's really good for hitting yourself up to really important stock thresholds. Yeah, so I really like this card. This card reminds me of like actually it should be the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same from the Takemichi from Tokyo Revengers. Yeah, that card was really good. So this card is also pretty solid. I think Tokyo Revengers level 0 game is just not as crazy. Actually, it's pretty good. But at least in the for like the super high-end deck or like the dual laner deck, your level 0s are kind of limited, so you do end up playing like kind of relying on that card. Whereas in Lycoris, I think your level 0 game is so cracked that you don't really need to rely on this. Ooh, all right, Fireworks Festival. This is going to be the new standby top end, or at least I guess set 1 only had 4 standbys in the booster and then 4 standbys as promos that were combo lists. So this is another standby combo, so we can actually play 8 standby with actual standby combos. This card's actually pretty cool. So on play, you heal. Climax combo is pay 2, ditch 2 to, I believe, just burn 2, mill 10, and then she gets 4k. So burn 2, mill 10, very funny. Can be like either the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. You know, it just really depends. But you know, milling obviously hits them closer to refresh, so you can kind of consider like an additional refresh as part of the effect for like you can say like for every 2 of these cards you get like an additional refresh compared to normal. The last effect is the really cool effect. When this card is placed on stage by the standby effect, then you can return this card to your hand. So a really cool thing with this is that if you are level 2 and you standby this out and you don't want it on the board for some reason, like because she does have very low power, she only 9,000 power, and she only gets power if you climax combo for the turn. So on your opponent's turn, she's always 9,000 power, very small. But you can just bounce her back to hand. So it turns your standbys of her specifically into like salvages of her, as long as you have like an open board space, right? Which is kind of interesting. It's really neat. But what you can also end up doing is like if you don't have enough hand to do her combo, but you trigger a standby, you can standby another copy of her out, bounce it back, and then discard her again for like the cost of the combo. So I just think it's like an interesting like idea of like playing around with standby. So it's pretty neat. This is another climax swap. So we had the Takino one in the first set, which was swapped from Waiting Room, and then we had the what's her name? The Mizuki. Oh, it's Mizuki, not Misaki. I'm dumb. Mizuki. The Mizuki one from the trial deck, which is also swapped from Waiting Room, but it's the same cost as this, which is putting another character from stage in the Waiting Room. This is that effect, except you search. So I actually like this one the most because a lot of times the climax I want is going to be in the deck rather than in the Waiting Room, depending on your deck rotation, right? Obviously, the climax swap from Waiting Room is better, like towards the later half of your deck, but you can also just play both and have access to both, which is really cool. All right, and the foil is a foil copy of the Stowy Knight Chisan Takina. Very nice. Yeah, so Premium Booster, generally speaking, every single card has the ability to come foil if it's in the normal rarity. So it's not like any of these cards are going to be like especially more difficult to get than others. In a case you're gonna generally have almost 2 playsets of normals and then under 1 playset of foils. So, and every card is basically the same chance of getting it. All right, Unfamiliar Uniform Takina. This is going to be a anti-overlevel bottom decker, as well as you can on play you can choose 2 of your opponent's characters to freeze them. So it's really good against standby. You just get to freeze a bunch of lanes. So pretty powerful anti-standby tool basically. All right. Ooh, this is a good one. Obligation of a Lycoris Takina. So this one is going to get +1 soul in the center stage, and also it's going to be the. All right. I'm doing the box opening. I get to say what I want to say. So this is super rare shot. This is on play. You discard a card from your hand, reveal the top card of the deck, and then choose a character with that level or lower from your window and add it back to your hand. So the first time it was printed in English was on a Goblin Slayer card. Everybody else calls it Rico because of Sakuroichi Rico from Love Live, but that's not what this effect is, because that's on a 2/1 on an act. So, you know, I like Super Rare Shot. I think it sounds good. Okay. Anyways, nobody agrees with me, but it's okay. Oh, this one, cool card. So on play, you can perform the following action twice. You can look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of your deck, or into your waiting room. So this is a really interesting card. Not really for Lycoris, because I don't think Lycoris can really take advantage of this, but this has like pretty interesting applications for like standard decks or something. But basically, yeah, you can put it on top or on bottom or into waiting room, and you do it twice. So you can really stack your deck with this kind of card. Very, very cool. I do think that if this card had like a secondary effect, it would be potentially worth playing. But unfortunately, just because it's the only effect and Lycoris can't really take too much advantage of it, I don't think it's that good. But like, imagine if you had a card that benefited off of like crazy deck stacking, like this would be so insane. Okay, and we got the foil version of the umbrella card. Nice. All right, last pack in box 1. Ooh. Oh. Okay, Climax. This is perfect day for capping. So this one is the level 0 combo. We haven't seen that one yet, but we'll see it. We'll see it soon, hopefully. If we pull it. Oh, okay. Literally back to back. Okay. All right. So we can do this time. We talk about the combo while showing off the climax. Yeah, so this is a level 0 combo and only works in backstage, and you have to have 3 or more other Lycoris or weapon characters, and then you just get to salvage one. And you can also rest this to give a character 1000 power. So the cool thing about this combo is that it activates from the back row. Obviously, it doesn't activate in the front row, it has to activate in the back row, so you can only get 2 copies off at most, but it does open your front row up to a bunch of other stuff that you can do. And the funniest thing you can do is dual laner. So you can play dual laners in the front row and the level 0 combos in the back row and get to climax combo and dual lane at the same time, which is really funny. So you may or may not be seeing that deck in action later. Ooh, Etiquette of a Lady Mizuki. Alright, so this one is like another one of those situational texts. This one's also pretty interesting. So on play, you can pay 1, ditch 1 to bounce, and then additionally on play, you can ditch your card from your hand, and you can shrink one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters. So shrinking it, they have to swap it with a character that's 1 level or lower from their waiting room. If they don't have any characters that are applicable, then you can't use the effect, but if they do have one, then they have to swap. So basically, if you play her, you can bounce a lane, shrink a lane. Really, really powerful in the right matchups, but it's also very situational. And the foil is, we got a foil Majima. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, on to box 2. I'm gonna cut this one off camera so that you guys don't see me cut off my fingers on camera. That would be really, really scary. You know, Lycoris Recoil, it's all about these like high school girls with guns and weapons, and like I cannot be trusted with a knife. So just to show that anime and real life are indeed different. Okay, 6 more packs from box 2. What am I trying to hit here? Obviously trying to hit like an SP, but I would really like to hit the 3/2. The 3/2 card that like turns on the old finisher, because that card's probably the most important card in this set. So hopefully we can pull that one. All right, so this is that's really cute art, but it's a 2/0 event counter, and there's basically 2 things you can do with this counter. So the first thing you do is you can choose one of your Lycoris weapons and give it cannot be reversed. So it's pretty good, right? So you discard your card from your hand. You're not paying any cost because it's a 2/0 event counter, and you're saving a character on board. So if you're like saving like a 3/2, this is super value. But additionally, you can also discard a Lycoris or weapon character from your hand to give one of your opponent's characters -1 soul. So on addition to that, you can use it to kind of decrease damage. So really interesting. I think this is pretty good in some decks that need to keep their level 3s on the board at level 2. So definitely can see some use in the 8-choice deck, as well as any of these like decks that are bringing out 3s early. Alright, got another of the Takina in uniform. Another Chisato in gym clothes. And our foil is the 1/0. Wait. Is this? Wait, what? No, okay, I'm wait. This is a normal one, right? Yeah, okay, this is the normal one. For some reason, I thought this was a different card. Okay. Changing Seasons Takina. What is this one? I don't remember this card. During your turn, this gets 5k power. On play, you can choose up to 1 Changing Seasons Takina in your waiting room, put it underneath this card as a marker. When damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you may choose 1 marker underneath this card and return it to your hand. What does the normal art of this look like? I don't remember. I think there's like a 2/1 Takina that also works with this. Okay, no, I remember. No, this can come cereal, because I have the cereal. Okay, that's why I was confused. Yeah, so sorry, this is not the cereal, this can come cereal. Yeah, so this one works with like a 2/1 Takina that markers, I think, 2 of this Chisato. And I think when the Takina's effect sends in the stock or something like that. Yeah, so okay, now I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, this good card. Cute card, very cute. It's like what, really big during your turn and like really small during your opponent's turn, but really funny. All right, the super rare shot. Ooh, look, we got both of the Obligation of a Lycoris arts right next to each other. Very nice. Back to back. Another Majima, and the foil is, oh, it's Poop. Ultimate New Dish Takina. Oh, this card's cool. Yeah, so on play, you can heal 1 and she gets 1500 power, and then, on attack, you can pay 1, ditch 1. If you have a field condition, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, choose up to 2 from among them, put it on top of their deck in any order, and mill the rest. So basically, off climax Mocha. Pay 1, ditch 1, look at top 2 of their deck, throw away all the climaxes that you don't want to see there, and then leave the rest on top. Pretty good off finisher option for yellow. Since the old 3-2 choice combo doesn't have any finishing power, it's just like, it's just stall. So if you're playing the choice deck, you're probably playing this as kind of like your off combo finisher. All right, we got 3 copies of this in our 2 boxes, so we can almost build the deck for this. Pretty interesting. We got, this is our 3rd Halloween costume talking as well. Another climax swap. There's a lot of dupes. Foil is, oh, this is the door support. Okay, so a level support, so 500 for every level. Whenever you trigger a door comeback, whatever you want to call that, your opponent mills 4, and then if there are no markers underneath this card, you can choose a card in your weight room and put it face up under this card as a marker. And then you can pay 1 to send a marker. Pay 1 send a marker from this under this into your weight room to bounce one of your opponent's characters. So when you trigger doors, you can get markers and mill your opponent, and then you can use those markers to bounce stuff. So it's pretty interesting. I do think if you want the mill effect, there is a Brainstormer in set 1 that also has the exact same effect. When you trigger a door, your opponent mills 4. So if you're only looking for that, I would just play the Brainstormer. I don't think you need to play this. But this is also a good way to consolidate like bounce utility, because like if you need bounce, then this is one way to get it. Okay. Wait. Oh, this is the standby. So this is the standby that what do you call it? Works with the 3-2 standby. And I actually recognize this artist. This is Rika. Very cute art. Alright, 2-1. Oh, Final Fight Chisato. This one, I believe combos with the, oh gosh, this is the 3rd door from set 1. Not the double rare door. This is like the 2-1 door, I think. That like, it's like the 2-1 door combo that changes to 3-2. So this is a level assist. You can, at the start of your encore step, you can send the door from set 1 to the weight room to salvage a card, and then you can rest this, put 1 before the end Chisato from your hand to your weight room, and to heal the top card of your clock. So I think before the end is either the 3-2 change target or the 2-1 combo. Can't remember. I don't know English names that well either. But yeah, so this one should combo with like the 2-1 door from set 1, which was like a really interesting combo. That combo is very unique for sure. I don't think it does a lot, unfortunately. Ooh, pretty. First dress up Takina. So when you play a climax, you can choose one of your characters. It gets 4k cross turn, so that's insane. And then an insane amount of power cross turn. And then it has a resonate act effect to reveal 1 enjoying the Summer Festival Takina, to mill your opponent 4. Why does Lycoris have so much mill, by the way? That's so weird. This mills 4, that mills 4, standby combo mills 10, set 1 brainstorm makes your opponent mill 4. Lycoris just really likes milling your opponent for some reason. Would be like OP in Magic Beginner or something, but it's Weiss. If they run out of deck, they just refresh. But very, very cute card. You see the Takina in the what do you call it? In the mirror. Alright. We got another Scene at the Aquarium Chisato. Another Umbrella Chisato. Another Climax Swap Takina. And the foil is, bam! Oh, nice! This is the card! Oh, we got that as foil as well. Okay, this is the crazy card. This card is absolutely insane. Chance for a bite, Takina Chisato. You can see this paragraph of text. You already know this card is insane. Okay, so Climax combo is not a real like combo, but basically on play you can salvage Days Spent Together in your weight room. So Days Spent Together is the level 3 finisher combo with the swimsuit Takina and swimsuit Chisato. Specifically, this gives that combo a ton of support. So the way this works is during the turn that this card is placed on stage, at the start of your climax phase, if you do not have another copy of this card on your stage, you can pay 1, send this to the waiting room. Then you can search your deck for any character, reveal it to your opponent, add to your hand. And then you can choose up to 1 Days That'll continue on Chisato, so that's Swimsuit Double Rare Chisato, and Days That'll continue on Takina, that's Swimsuit Double Rare Takina, from your hand. You can place them on separate positions of your stage, shuffle your deck, and then those characters get anti-event. So during their battle, your opponent cannot play events. So basically what this does is for 3 stock, because you play this for 2 stock, so you play this, you get the climax guaranteed. And then you pay an additional stock, send this away to search your deck for a card. So it replaces itself. So you're not losing any cards at this point. And then you can just play both of the Chisato and Takina from your hand for no stock. So you only paid 3 stock for this card, 2 for this, and 1 for the effect. And you can bring out 4 stock worth of characters. So it saves you 1 card in hand because you don't need to hold the climax. You can use this to get the climax. And it saves you 1 stock for your finisher. So this card is crazy. It actually just saves you 1 hand, 1 stock for the finisher line, in addition to also guarantee grabbing you the climax and guarantee grabbing you a character from your deck, which could be one of the 2 combo pieces, right? Yeah, this card is so custom. It's insane. It's the closest thing that Weiss has ever gotten to like a 1 card full combo, like guaranteed kind of thing, you know? Like you can like 1 card maybe like luck your way into a full combo, but this is the first time it's like 1 card guarantee grab like 2 pieces of like a 5-piece combo, and then the pieces themselves help grab other pieces. So it's like it's so crazy. Yeah. Hopefully during our gameplay we can show you just how insane that card is, because it's like really off of like a hand of nothing, you can just magically assemble everything. Because the Chisato salvage, so like if you have more combo pieces in the waiting room, you just get them. All right. Speaking of Chisato, here's Chisato waking up. It's a 1/0 backup. So it backups for 0 power. Wow, that's crazy. When you use this backup, choose all characters in battle get the following ability until end of turn. When this character is put into your waiting room from the stage, it comes back. So this is also kind of similar to like the 2/0 event, where instead of like it just like protects a character, so it's not trying to like win the battle or anything. But unlike the 2/0 event, this one allows your opponent to get a reverse on the character, but it will basically free encore the character if it comes back from waiting room. It also works for your opponent's character for some reason. I guess that's like the quote-unquote downside for an effect like this. So yeah, if your opponent's using like a level 0 bomb that like when it gets reversed, it reverses the battle opponent, then like this will actually encore both of them. You know, I actually think there's like pretty funny counterplay. Like if your opponent has a card that's like it sends a character from stage to waiting room, like on attack or something, and then you use this counter early, then they could actually like do some really funny stuff. But I haven't seen it ever happen. It would be really fun to see. But yeah, again, this kind of counter is going to be really good for decks that want to keep like their level 3s or even like early like standby out level 2s on the stage pretty much guaranteed. Although it's basically just doing the same thing as like a hand encore, right? Except you need a specific card in hand to encore, rather than like a hand encore being able to discard any character. The plus side is that if your deck does have like counter or like backup synergy, like if you use a backup you get to do other effects, then it would be really good. Unfortunately, Lycoris doesn't have backup synergy from what I can remember. None of the decks really get any benefit for using backups. Alright, we got the ice cream card, custom card in non-foil. Very nice. This is like the 1 card where if we didn't open it, I would definitely have like try to pull it out to talk about because it's such an important card. Basically, the whole reason why Lycoris is relevant nowadays is just like you can play anything you want in Lycoris into just full combo ice cream swimsuits. Boom. Ooh, Tropical Roll Chisato. So this one can come SP, but this is going to be the LRP version of it. So this one, so the second effect is the easy effect. So on attack, if the character facing this is level 3 or higher, she gets plus 6k. So she'll be swinging 12-5 against level 3s. The first effect is the kind of like the compression disruption card effect. On play, pay 1. If you have 4 or more other Lycoris or weapons, your opponent returns all their stock into their deck, shuffle their deck, and then stocks the same number. So basically, you're potentially shuffling clean cards back into your deck and potentially shuffling or stocking climaxes into their stock. So Lycoris did not have a stock manipulation disruption. Instead, when they had Musicom, the 2-1, which was the shuffle back from weight room. So now they have shuffle back from weight room and shuffle stock into deck, which means that they have kind of both halves of like the stock weight room decompression combo. So it's pretty strong. And since your finisher is now like way cheaper, you can do both into like finisher combo. All right, this is a gate support. So on play, you can choose a card in your clock, add it to your hand. Choose a card in your hand and put it in your clock. That kind of effect is really strong. It's really good utility. And then when you play this on stage from your hand, you can discard a climax with the gate and its trigger icon to salvage a Lycoris or weapon character. So this is going to be really good in any decks that's running like a full set of pants or gate triggers. So there's like the level 0 combo, level 1 combo. Unfortunately, your top end gate finishers are not that great. You have from set 1, you have the trial deck combo, which it's okay. It's a trial deck combo. I think it's just burn 2, so a little bit weak on the firepower. And then you have this new combo from this set, which is also just burn 2. So both finishers are a little weak in terms of firepower, but this one's a little better because you can start doing it at level 2. So maybe like back-to-back turns of it could be really strong. So this is exploring the stars. So this is going to be the climax for the 3-2 combo that we showed earlier. And this scene is from the show. Yeah. So Lycoris Recoil, actually most of the art from Lycoris Recoil is going to be like referencing the show because it is an anime original show. There was no other content for Lycoris that they could be referencing. So these are all show references, but you know, obviously not drawn by, they're drawn by like artists. Fan artists. Alright, 2-1, the Daily Life Day Protected. This is an event. The cost is to put a Lycoris or a weapon character from your hand to your waiting room. If you do, you can search your deck for up to 2 Lycoris or weapon characters, and then choose one of your Lycoris or weapon characters to give it 3k power. So, it's okay. Kind of reminds me of like the 2-2 event from set 1, which is search your deck, I think, for like 1 Takino, 1 Chisato. And then, I think you give 2 things power. So this is 1 less stock, but you do have to discard a card. Yeah. I would probably just play the 2-2 event, because that one just pluses you, which is really nice. And the foil is, bam! It's Poop. Ultimate new dish. Oh, speaking of Poop, if you guys have watched the new OVA series, which is was it 4 special episodes or 6 special episodes? I actually can't remember. Like the new shorts. Oh, we have upgraded from Poop. We are now in the territory of butt. It's crazy. All right, at Dusk Takina. This is going to be on play. Pay 1, send another Lycoris or weapon from stage to weight room to choose a character in your weight room, add it to your hand. So it's kind of cool because it sends a character from stage to weight room, so it clears up a slot on board. And if you like play the card to get like an effect on board, then you can send it away. You kind of get both. So this is a really cool card for that kind of effect. Also experience for extra power on attack. Yeah, I think I haven't really tried playing with this card a lot, but I do think there's a lot of potential. It's a really cool kind of utility card. This is a new card. I forgot. This one looks like the other card, but it's not. This is a Brainstormer. So it's a search Brainstormer. Flip over 4 cards for every climax hit, search. And then at the start of your climax phase, if this card is rested, you can put this card into your memory. And then if you do, at the start of your next draw phase, you can put it back onto stage on any position. So this is really interesting because, so in general, like this kind of effect is really good if you have some cards that can like rest, like multiple cards, and then she can go away. And then when she goes away, she empties up a slot on board, right? So you can use that slot for like standby purposes, which is really good. So you'll see some of these effects used in like standby decks. Specifically in Lycoris, another really cool way you can use it is this activates at the start of your climax phase, which is before attack phase. So you can actually put this in the front row, rest it for like her brainstorm effect, and then send her away at the start of climax step. And then at the start of your attack phase, your dual laner effects will activate, and since there's an empty slot, they will activate now. They will meet the condition, and then she comes back at the start of your draw step. So it basically allows you to use a tap Brainstorm in the front row and still get like dual laners on, which is really, really funny. Yeah. Oh, a 1/0 Bon Appetit Takina. Oh, so this is going to be another support for the A-Choice deck. So if you would pay for the act effect of the Cafe LycoReco Takina, so that's going to be the 2/1 that I think it's like pay 3, ditch 1 to summon out the Chisao Takina finish, the level 3 combo. It's either pay 3, ditch 1, or it's pay a lot, basically. But yeah, if you would pay for the cost, you can discard this card instead of 1 or 2 cards from your stock. So you can just basically treat this as 2 stock, which is really helpful because, man, that effect cost is really expensive. It's like pay 3 something, pay 3 plus. And then the second act, you can put this from your stage to the waiting room to search your deck for up to 1 Shrewd Accountant Takina. So that's going to be the level 1 combo, the level 1 choice combo. And then you can pay 1, put this into your waiting room. If your level 2, if your level is 2 or higher, you can choose 1 Cafe LycoReco Takina in your waiting room and put it on the same stage position that this was in. So this card basically does like 3 things. It actually does 4 things for the deck. So it either in your hand it can decrease the cost of the act effect to bring out the 3/2 Chisao Takina. On the board at level 1, it will change into your level 1 Takina combo. On the board at level 2, it will change into the 2/1 that you need to get out the 3/2, and it has a soul trigger. So it's a great target to grab off like choice and stuff like that. So basically, if you're playing 8 choice, you're playing a bunch of this card because this card kind of solves everything. This is like the custom card for 8 choice. Yeah, I don't know why it has all these effects and a soul trigger. Like it's a 1/0 that has like 1k power. They've cut so much power from this card. It's crazy. All right, and the foil is, bam. This is a Noriko Wasabi Chisado. What does Noriko Wasabi mean? I don't know. Isn't wasabi just like? Well, the camera is like just going crazy right now. But the are you okay, camera? Why is the camera refocusing all the time? Okay. Alright. Maybe I'm just shaking too much. Okay, let's assist 500 and then put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. Put this card from station to waiting room to salvage a Lycoris or weapon. So we call that Helmet from the Hololive Canada Helmet. But yeah, Helmet and assist 500. Not a bad card. I feel like there was a assist 500 helmet that some other set played. I can't remember. I feel like there was one. I'm not really sure which one it was anymore. Ooh, we got Night Drinking Routine Mizuki. So this card's pretty good. 2500 base, just 1 effect. When this card is put into your waiting room from the stage, you look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 climax from among them, put it to your hand. And if you put a card into your hand, you have to discard a card. So, yeah, great for grabbing climaxes and also just milling for free, because if you don't hit a climax, you don't have to discard anything. So pretty good. I like this card at least at 1 of, especially in the decks that don't easily get climaxes to your hand. So I'm talking like Door and Choice, where the climax trigger doesn't really help you get them to your hand. So nice. The 1/0 Sisha Pose Chisado, we already saw this in foil version. Very cute. 1/0 Changing Season Chisado. So this was what it looks like in normal. Yeah, because I had this cereal, so I didn't remember what it looked like in normal. I'm still looking for one of the cereals. And then At Dusk Takina. I think I'm looking for the Chisado cereal. Oh no, sorry, the Takina cereal. I don't think I have the Takina cereal. Ooh. All right, 2 more packs. Can we end on? Oh, I would have normally said can we end on a foil, but every pack has a foil. Can we end on an SP? Would be really cool. All right, Noriko Wasabi Chisado, Tropical Girl Chisado. So this is the one we already talked about. Getting Ready for Business Chisado. On play, she gets power equal to the number of Lycoris or weapon characters you have times 1000. So if you have a full board, she is a level 0 7k attacker. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of power. And the foil is, boom! Ooh, foil climax. This is Exploring the Stars from earlier. Look at that foiling. Looks so good. Alright, final pack. Last pack magic. Alright. Here we go. Changing Seasons Takina. Oh, this is the one. Okay. So this is the one that is the Where is it? We opened it this recently. Yeah, Changing Seasons Chisato and Changing Seasons Takina. Okay, this is why I don't remember it. The art is like not the same. Okay, but yeah, so the Takina during your turn gets plus 10k power, so it's a 12k attacker. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, choose up to 2 Changing Seasons Chisato in your weight room, put them face up underneath this card as markers. And then when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you can choose up to 2 markers underneath this card and put them at the bottom of your stock in order. So the Chisato, when the damage dealt by Chisato is cancelled, you can add the Takina to your hand. And then if the damage dealt by Takina is cancelled, you can stock the Chisatos to your stock. So that's kind of interesting. What would make these cards really good is if they had 2 base soul. Like if they just like lost, if they lost 1k power each and had 2 soul, I feel like these cards would be really good. But unfortunately, they only have 1 soul, so it's kind of hard to get their damage to cancel. And if their damage doesn't cancel, then they're really tiny on your opponent's turn, right? Because this is only like a 2-1, 2k during your opponent's turn. So yeah, I think if they had base 2 soul, I could see these cards be really funny and potentially work. But unfortunately, they only have base 1 soul. All right, boom. Oh, level 1 combo. Okay, that's good because this is also really important and we almost didn't pull it. Okay, cool. Is this the last combo that we haven't seen? I'm trying to think here. We saw the level 0 combo. We saw. Oh yeah, this is basically the last combo. Nice. Because I think the other stuff is they all work with the old stuff. Okay, nice. We get to see the. Was there no yellow combo from this set? Actually, I don't think there was a yellow combo. Now that I think about it. Yeah, there was no new yellow combo. All right. Under the Falling Cherry Blossoms, Takina and Chisato, during your turn, if you have another Lycoris Recoil, she gets plus 3k power, so 6/5 during your turn, pretty much always. Focus. All right. And then when Cherry Blossoms in Bloom, that's the door that we pulled earlier, is placed on Climax. If you have another Lycoris or Weapon character, you can search your deck for a Lycoris or Weapon character, reveal it, add to your hand, and she gains 1k power. So just a conditionless search is really strong. You just get to search. And yeah, this is probably one of the best new level 1 combos now for this deck because searching is really good. You don't have to worry about anything like missing off of a top check or milling climaxes. You just get to search. And then Lycoris has so much good deck control options already that you can just use deck control options outside of this to like mill through your deck, and you can just use this for like consistent advantage basically. So yeah, I think this combo is really good and really solid. All right. Ooh, 2-1 Kurumi. So this is the one that combos with the set 1 level 2 Kurumi combo. Great achievement. So the way it works is, if this card is your waiting room, at the beginning of your encore step, you can send the great achievement from your climax area into your waiting room to add this back to your hand. And it's a 2-1 3k backup. So the idea is that if you use your Kurumi combo and you play this Kurumi backup, you can just get this backup for free at the end of the combo, which is cool. I think it's like a really cool design. Unfortunately, the Kurumi, I believe, it's like she gets you some kind of resource, either a stock or a salvage, and then she gets power cross turn. So the idea with this Kurumi is that you're trying to protect that combo as long as possible by getting like this card for free. However, I do think that combo is like not that good because like eventually you're just gonna have to play a finisher. So getting the extra power cross turn on a level 2 is like, it's okay. And then it's on a choice, so that it's like kind of hard to get extra copies of the choice at level 2 without like clocking yourself and stuff like that. But it's better now with this because now you just get a free card basically. So maybe the +1 free card is gonna make it worth it for running that Kurumi combo. Yeah, you'd have to like play Kurumi combo with like some kind of finisher and then maybe some kind of early game combo. It would be pretty interesting. Maybe we'll cook with this. And the last foil is going to be... Is there any other cards we haven't seen yet? We haven't seen the 1-0 Halloween Chisato. That would be kind of nice to talk about. And then I will want to talk about the SPs that didn't make it into the first set. So we'll have to pull those out later. Last card is... Boom! Oh! Oh! Wait! Okay. Speaking of SPs that didn't make it into the first set, we got the SP My Duty Takina Wow, okay, nice. Woo! So the SPs, as you can see, they have the additional rainbow foiling on top of like the gold. Well, I guess it's not gold anymore. It's like a nice silver. The border outside of the like the text box, card name and stuff like that, and it has like the rainbow foiling on the outside. Very very nice. Oh, nice. All right. So this came as a promo in JP in set 1, and is now an SP in set 2. On play, reveal the top part of your deck. If that card is a Lycoris or a weapon character, choose one of your characters and negates 3k power until the end of turn. Can choose herself as well, so she can attack for 3/5 if you hit the top check, or you can buff one of your other characters by 3k, which is a lot of power. And then the second effect, this is the crazy effect. On play, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, you can choose a trait of a character on your opponent's stage, and all of your opponent's characters lose that chosen trait until end of turn. So this is trait wipe. Trait wipe is either does nothing. Against some decks, it actually just does absolutely nothing, or it does everything. Against some decks, it just completely wins the game on the spot. It really depends. This is trait wipe during your turn, which means that you're really just turning off like defensive options. So that's like power on board if like your opponent's characters on board care about trait for power, or if they have like defensive effects needing certain certain traits to activate defensive effect. The best example would be Shauna, right? So the Flame Yuji requires a certain number of flame characters on board in order to have the prevent auto effect damage. If you use this, you remove flame trait, they have no flame characters on board, they can't prevent your burns, right? So that's like the best example, but there are other smaller examples like that. I also could turn off trait for like counters in hand, or like events in hand that do require trait. So yeah, sometimes the best card in the game, sometimes literally does nothing. But the top check effect for the extra 3k power is always relevant, and I do think Lycoris needs some power buffs, especially at level 0. So I think this card is always situationally useful, but could be the craziest card ever. Alright, well, nice! Last pack magic! And we did end on an SP. Very, very exciting. Yeah, so after this, we will go ahead and show off some of the cards we didn't get to open and talk about, as well as some other SPs, so you can check out what they look like. Alright, that's good. Alright, so here we have some of the SPs that we've pulled at Tressa's Collectibles to give you guys a little bit of a showcase. And I just laid it out right here with the SPs at the bottom, and the cards that we pulled from our 3-box opening at the top that correspond to each SP. So you can see kind of like the different arts and takes on the art. Now we did not pull the Fuki reprint in the base rarity, but you can just take a look at that card and by yourself later. So this is going to be the SP obligation of a Lycoris Shisato. So you can see her holding the red spider lily in her hand. Now if you have the SP of the obligation of Lycoris Takina, you'll see that it's the same pose of Takina holding a red spider lily with the same kind of background by the same artist. So really cool that the base rarity obligation of Lycoris are drawn by the same artist, and the SP obligation of Lycoris are also drawn by the same artist. Probably just from like the same like promotional art, I would say. So very cool looking. Yeah, there's red spider lily, definitely a big focus in Lycoris Recoil, even though like nobody really dies, which is kind of funny that they would prominently showcase the red spider lily. So this is going to be Tropical Girl Takina, and you can see that this is also the same art or the same artist as Tropical Shisato. The same thing with the Tropical Girl Takina base rarity is also the same art style / artist as the Tropical Girl Shisato base card. So this is going to be the reprint of Fuki. So it's the exact same as first Lycoris Fuki from set 1. Even with the continuous effect, you can put up to 4 cards with the same card name as this card and cards named first Lycoris Fuki. So you can't play 4 of this and 4 of the Fuki. You can play 1 of this and 3 of the Fuki, or 3 of this and 1 of the Fuki, but a total of 4 between the two, because this kind of effect is really, really strong, and if you have access to this effect and like 5 or more, you can kind of do some kind of crazy things. So good that they limited this. But this is probably my favorite card art from the entire set, just because look at the ponytail. Oh, she's tying the ponytail. It looks so good. It looks so good. Did I ever say I like ponytails? I don't think I've ever said that before. Alright, so this is Tropical Chisato, just giving you the nice peace sign. Very cute. Very, very nice. Are they in Hawaii in this one yet? I don't know. In Hawaii, they were wearing some crazy stuff, I think. We shall see later. Alright, this is going to be Bon Appetit Takina. So this is, again, you know, you can see same artists for... Actually, are these the same artists? Okay. Oh, wait, these are not the same artists. Never mind. So this one's different. Yeah, these are different artists, but these are the same artists. Okay, cool. So this is Takina decorating a cake. Very nice looking card. And this is Chisato eating the decorations because she's a menace. Actually, it looks like she's just like whipping some chocolate icing or something. She's got a knife in her hand. She's got a knife in her hands. Oh. The strawberries are just flying around everywhere. Dude, this strawberry is like literally shining. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah. All right, so these are gonna be the SPs, and we're gonna show off. Ooh, gonna move these to the side. Last but not least, we are going to show off the 4 promos that got reprinted as SPs in the set for both JP and English, and this is the first time we are going to be seeing some of these cards in English. So these 2 are the ones that we already have access to. This is going to be the monthly PR Chisato Bouncer, so a lot of people should have this card. This card was pretty easy to get. On play, +1 soul to one of your characters, and when it's you can send this from stage to waiting room as an act to bounce one of your opponent's characters. Very good card. Now you can get it in this really nice foil. So the thing with the foils, or so the promos in JP, is that on release they came regular and they came foil. So you could get the regular foil in Japan. In America, this promo only came regular, and then the Takina foil only came stamped with the BCF stamp. So like, there's only 1 rarity we have for these cards. Not like JP where they had 2 before the set and now they have 3. But yeah, so now we do get to get like an alternate art for or like a foiling for this card specifically. Because like, yeah, we only had base rarity for this. So, very nice. And then this is going to be the refresh counter foil BSF, or the reprint of the BSF foil. So this is just, when you use the backup, pay to refresh. So the funny thing is, again, in JP, they had a base rarity version of this card that was fairly cheap, a foil version of the promo that was like a little bit expensive, but not too expensive. And then they have this SP, which is probably the most expensive in JP, but not that expensive, I think. So it's funny, in English, the stamp version of this card is actually fairly expensive because it was our only copy, and you could only get it by going to like BSFs. So the stamp was going for quite a lot. I think it might have dropped now, but it still might be going for a decent amount. And then now we have the SP version. So like, I do think this is probably still going to be more expensive than the stamp, but it's going to be a lot closer than it was in JP, right? Which is funny to think about. Again, why they did this, I have no idea, but they chose to do this. But it's a nice art. So I run this one in my deck because I think it looks cooler. All right, and so the one we already pulled, so we already talked about that. And then finally, this is Final Duty Chisato, which is the same card as the one in JP. And this is the first time we're getting this in English, this really powerful effect. And honestly, this is a game changer in English. So, first effect, you cannot receive 4 or more damage by the auto effects of your opponent's characters. Can any of our audience members tell me one particular deck in the English meta that does not exist in JP that does damage in 4 or more instances that this card would completely destroy? And that's right, goodbye 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know what 7 Deadly Sins is going to do against this. They have to bounce, but they lost their bouncer. So they have to play Merlin now? I don't know. Anyways, if you ever want to make your 7 Deadly Sins friends squirm and just like cry tears of blood, well, can we get the focus on? Focus? Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, dude, this camera's autofocus is literally driving me crazy. Okay, there we go. Okay. Bam. They can't burn with Hendrickson. Let's go. Even if against decks that don't have the like 4 more damage burns, this card still has some utility. So it's a global 500, and you can rest this card as an act to swap a card in your level and a Lycoris or weapon character in your weight room. So it helps you like level fix. It's really good for the experience decks that require specific stuff in level. Like if you're playing like the 3-2, the Snowy Day Chisao Takina, this is like one of your best ways to get copies of the Chisao and Takina into your level. But also it's like you just level this for red against matchups where it doesn't come up, right? But yeah, so the funny story about this card in JP was that the set that was released right before Lycoris was Puzzles and Dragons, which is one of, if not the best set of all time in JP. It's not the best set, because I think the best set is probably Superstar, but it's close. It's really close. Like, May was just extremely absurd, right? So, Puzzle Dragons, like, literally one of the best sets they've ever released, period. And then they released Lycoris Set 1, and it was like, to put it in Lycoris terms, it was night and day, right? And it was Chisao Takina. But, so, like, you know, a lot of people were like really bummed at like Lycoris, which was such a popular set, was like so bad. And so they printed the promos, and then this one just felt like it was completely targeted at Puzzles of Dragons, because the name was like burn 4, shuffle back 3, burn 4. So if you had this on the board, then like the nade does not burn at all, right? And it just shuffle backs 3. And so I remember after this got released that like Japanese Puzzle Dragons players were playing like 3 to 4 copies of the Bouncer, just because the Lycoris players would play 3 to 4 copies of the Chisado on final turn to like stop the day. It was so funny. What a meta. That was really funny. But yeah, this card's really good. This card's really important, especially in EN, because we got Hendrickson. So like, yeah, if you want to bully 7 Deadly Sins players, just show them this. But unfortunately, even though JP did get this in PR, and even though the PR was really expensive, they did have cheaper versions of this card. And unfortunately, if you want to play this in English, you gotta buy the SPs. Yeah. At least we have it, though. At least we have it. So yeah, that does it for this box opening video. Hope you guys learned something about Lycoris Premium. I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this to enter into English. I love Lycoris as a set. You know, I did the set 1 content stuff for like the deck profile. I do think that with the Premium Booster, Lycoris is actually just on the table as a metagame contender. I think it will always be a really solid option because of like a 3-2. And so I'm really excited. I do expect to see Lycoris do well in the future. And so if you like Lycoris, if you like the deck, if you like the show, this is the best time to get into Lycoris. The stocks are, you know, at an all-time high. So yeah, that does it for this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or want to, I don't know, show off your polls or talk about what you got, please let us know in the comments below. We'll do our best to respond. And coming up, we will have some deck profiles for, or not like deck profiles, maybe like deck overviews or like set overviews for both Project Sekai and, Project Sekai? Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, Project Sekai, or Lycoris Recoil, as well as our regular scheduled gameplay box. Maybe we'll be playing Lycoris Recoil into Project Sekai. That'll be kind of interesting. Anyways, so if you want to see that kind of content, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, what was I gonna say? Subscribe and it's not pay attention. Like obviously you're paying attention. No, what's the word? Not stay alert. Keep in. No, it's not that either. There's like a word. There's like a phrase I'm looking for where like you're just like. Be on the lookout. There we go. Be on the lookout for those videos. All right. This has been Simu, stumbling over his words, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.